Welcome back, guys. You're listening to Vol. We're into Game 2 of the Steamroller tournament going over Saturday and Sunday of the weekend. Now, my opponent for this game is the same player that I faced in the final of the Friday event, which was the Highlander event. So the reason why we can play each other again is because there are two separate standalone tournaments, as long as you guys are following that. So he is playing Legion again. Luckily, he doesn't actually have Saren in either of his lists. He's got P. Vale and Bethayne Belphagor, and he's chosen to go with Bethayne and Belphagor for this game. He's actually got the Throne of Everblight, which I think is awesome. You see towering over his army. It's a close quarter scenario, and I've picked Harby for this match because Harby is fantastic against just about any Hordes build that you can possibly come up with. She's probably one of the best casters in the game, and definitely the top Menoth caster. And I've just really tried to go for a textbook Harby build for this this event. It's very, very similar to a list played by my friend James, also known as on the internet as Dice God on the Private Press forums. The only difference between my list and his list that he used at the New Zealand Masters last year is that I've got Rhupert, the Piper, instead of Gorman, the Alchemist, and I've also put in a Heirophant instead of his choice of Anastasia. His two choices there are much more aggressive. He likes to play Harby front up. I play very defensively and cautiously and passively a lot of the time, maybe due to lack of experience with the faction. So anyway, here we go. Looking forward to this one. I actually feel like I have the advantage here because my stuff is quite resistant to spells, and if he does manage to get some, splash damage, or spread damage, eruption of spines on me, I can always Martyr if I really like, or tough them. Next photo, just a wonderful picture of his Throne of Everblight. Not, very good clarity and resolution on the camera picture, but it's a wonderful model. I'd really love to, paint one of these one day because it's just a monumental piece. Next image, my Menoth troops have gone first. I've put Tough up on the Errants, as you can see. Just moving forward fairly cautiously, planning on going through the bottleneck and just waiting for him to come to me. The Ravagore is going to be a pain in the butt, but apart from that, the Hex Hunters are not going to be very good against my Errants due to Tough and Martyrdom and Spell Immunity, whereas the Errants are going to be great against them due to Crusader's Call and Quick Works. So really looking forward to dishing out some pain on that front. Next image, Belphagor himself moving up. He's tried to arc a spell through Belphagor, Eruption of Spines, at the Errant, but he hasn't realised that they're immune to spells, so that's his first mistake of the game. The Ravagore shoots his big fiery blast at me, but the Errant is tough, so managed to pass that roll, and of course I can just Martyr him if he fails the tough roll. Next photo, Hex Hunter's fanning out here. He's got the Spell Martyr behind the building, and just really getting into a point where I can charge him and quick work him if I really want to, but the better move may well be to just use the feat. Going to the next photo, that's exactly what I decided to do, and everything moves up. I've actually charged Belphagor with one of the Errants, moved up with the Avatar putting down Gaze of Menoth, and the Reckoner run up here with Enliven just in case something gets to it. But looking pretty good here. Harby is just hung back slightly so that she's out of threat range from the Ravagore. Quite worried about Ravagore moving up and just getting like a 666 on damage or something unseen, and Harby using her feat so that the Hex Hunters cannot charge the Errants. So you'll have to try and use Eruption of Spines here. Next photo, the battle engine, of course in the background there, wonderful picture of it, just camping behind behind Belphagor here. Belphagor tries to activate and tries to kill the Errant, but just rolls terribly for his attack rolls and managing to pass my tough rolls on the other hand, so very, very determined Errant in this situation. Next photo, his Hex Hunters spread out around the hut obstruction in the centre here, and of course they cannot get in range because of Harby's feat, but the Spell Martyr is moving around here, and Bethayne is able to put a Eruption of Spines onto Rhoven, and that will cause splash damage or spread damage around to his friends nearby. But unfortunately, Bethayne rolls terribly. In fact, you've got a next photo. That is the roll for a boosted attack roll for the Eruption of Spines onto Rhoven, a 111. Absolute catastrophe there, so doesn't even get that spell off at the waste of 3 focus, 3 fury rather, so doesn't need to try it again. If you go to the next photo, after taking damage from a little bit of eruption there, the battle engine moves out into the centre, doing some attacks on some nearby errants. I did pass a couple of tough rolls. Harby's out of range for martyrdom, unfortunately, so I did lose a couple of errants there. But the battle engine is now in range for me to wreck it with the jacks, and really the only heavy I'll have to deal with is the Scythean. Not too worried about the Ravagore in combat so much. So things looking decent. Next photo, my turn. Seeing that Bethayne had used up all of her fury casting things, I felt it would be rude not to shoot her with the Ravagore, the Reckoner. Because if I stand still and get the choir bonus, I'm up to Rat 9 or something like that. So yeah, he's Rat 5 naturally, goes up to 7 from standing still, goes up to 9 due to the choir, and if I boost that, he's defense 20 behind the wall, it's 11 to hit on 3 dice, and if I hit him, then, lots of damage because he's, armor 12 or 13 or something really, really low, and the power of the Repenter, the Reckoner with the choir is, I think, 15 or 16. So that happens. I roll a 5, 5, and a 6 for the attack roll, which hits him and sets him on fire, and reduces him to just one box with the damage. So just huge damage roll. So I think, well, why don't I just ancillary attack and shoot him again since the flare is there? So that takes him down to defense 18, but I don't get the standing still bonus and I can't boost, so I'd need an 11 to hit. And I rolled 2 dice and I got 11 straight up. So that's me winning the game due to a fluke. Absolutely lucky there, and saved me the hassle of killing everything else. But what me and my opponent decided to do, after filling in the score sheets and handing it into the umpire, the tournament organizer, we decided to play on anyway, just under the assumption that, pretending that the second shot missed. Bearing in mind, obviously, she's actually on fire, so we would have had to roll for that as well, but we just didn't. Because we both wanted to see how the game progressed, because he actually felt that he had a bit of an advantage with Bethayne. I felt I had the advantage, in fact, with Harby, so we continued the game. If you go to the next image, here's the situation. The Avatar moves around and wrecks the Throne of Judgment and kills Belphagor as well. The Carnivian then charges him in return, but just doesn't do the damage required to crack his armor. The Hex Hunters move forward and get some kills on the Errants, thanks to some help from Bethayne's feat turn. But as you guys can see, the situation is, my Avatar about to wreck his Scythean. The Reckoner can go in and clear up some of the Hex Hunters, and, a few Hex Hunters are not going to be enough to kill Harby. So really it's just going to be my Jacks versus a Ravagore. Going to the next photo, what he decides, having seen that, is just to move up the Ravagore, put his Animus up, and actually boost an attack against Harby. And he hits Harby and then rolls a 666 for damage, boxing her exactly. And that kills her. In fact, no, the 666 isn't even enough to kill her because she's fresh. Takes her right down to 4 health, and the fire fails to go out and kills her. So, had I not killed Bethayne with my own fire damage roll, this may well have been what happened to me, although realistically, what should have happened is that, I shouldn't have killed Bethayne straight away. Harby shouldn't have died to the Ravagore either. And the game would have just continued with me getting an attrition win. So even though luck reared its ugly head and caused some strange results in this match, I felt that I had the advantage due to my decisions and my list. His particular Bethayne list wasn't a spectacularly good one against Harby, in my view. So that's what happened. 2-0, 2 wins so far. So going into the third round, we'll see you guys there shortly.